Rich, you guys have talked a lot this year just about sort of how you need to step up when guys go down. Just what was the reaction to hearing that Corey wouldn't be on the roster this series?
Obviously, it's a big blow. You know, that guy's fought with us the entire year, and it's just an unfortunate thing that happens. Obviously, in sports, when you get an injury, and you know, it's something we're looking for. You know, the other guys to step up with Charlie and CT, which is great. You know, I think it's going to be one of those things where we don't know where the next guy is going to come from. That's going to be, you know, supposedly, you know, the hero of the game, or however you want to put it. But you can definitely kind of see that storyline building, I guess.
Over here on the right.
Hi, Rich.
Hi.
When you found out you're going to face the same opponent in the same series again, did you go crazy?
No, not yet.
How do you feel?
It's a great, you know, anytime you get the opportunity to play and compete against the best, I think it's something that everybody, you know, who is a competitor wants to do. You want to challenge yourself against the best, and they're the defending champions. And, you know, that's the club that we wanted to play, and the team that, you know, we, you know, want to beat to get to the next step, which is the World Series. So it's something that I'm looking forward to. It's a great challenge to go out there and, again, just focus in on taking it one pitch at a time and staying in the moment.
JP.
Rich, good to see you. To pick up on that, as a snapshot in time, how would you describe maybe any differences in you as either stamina or stuff compared to the NLCS last season?
I can't really compare years. I did that when I was younger. I used to try to, you know, okay, I want to have the same year as I did last year, do a little bit better. But you can't do that. You can't try to compare yourself to any game that you had or any, because as I've gotten older, and I've realized through experience that every single opportunity is different. And no matter if it's, you know, against the similar team, you know, it's still a different circumstance, a different year, a different day, whatever it might be. So understanding that, the only constant for me is bringing that effort every single time that I go out there and making sure that's consistent. Other than that, you know, everything else is really out of my control.
In the front on the left.
Rich, that said, what do you remember from your Game 3 start last year, and what, if anything, can you take from that, at least into this year?
Yeah, it was a great game. It was here in LA, and I think it put us up 2-1, I believe, against the Cubs. You know, other than that, I mean, I think it's again, similar situation to where we were last year, but at the same time, you know, these guys are now the defending champs. So it's actually last year, you know, we wanted to beat the best, and we thought the Cubs were the best. Unfortunately, you know, we didn't get through that round, but what we gained in experience was huge to get to this point. So a lot of guys that were on that roster last year with the Dodgers are back again this year, and we're able to, you know, feed off those experiences from last year and understand that, you know, where we got to, it wasn't such a failure. It was more of a, you know, a learning point in moving forward.
JP, down here in front.
I know you don't want to compare years, but, you know, last year, coming back from the blister, you had a shorter leash than usual in September. This year, healthy the entire second half. Do you think you will have a longer leash now compared to the NLCS last year?
I don't really know, because you can't, you know, these playoff games, as we've seen throughout the entire playoffs, are completely their own animal. You know, and every team has to, you know, you have to win that game. So you do whatever it takes to win that game. And depending on how many pitches that might be for the starter, for the bullpen, however, you know, we play the chess match moving forward throughout each game. Really just kind of is going to depend on how the game is flowing, and understanding that, you know, it's all hands on deck from here on out. And I don't look at it as a longer or shorter leash from last year. I think it just really depends on how the game is going to ebb and flow.
We got left.
Rich, can you talk about how your connection with Austin Morris has evolved over time, and then try to explain why your numbers are so strong with him?
Well, we're really fortunate to have two great catchers with Yasmani and Austin, and it's been, incredible to work with both guys, and to see, the development of Austin this entire season, just from spring training through the beginning of the season, all-star break, and then the second half, has been something that, I can reflect back on and look at, two different positions, but, career-wise, your experiences and learning over your course of your career and how you become, a better player as you move through your career. And not such a better player, but it's more of an efficient player. Understanding what your routine is on a day-to-day basis. A guy who works every single day, who wants to learn, who talks to the pitchers, and understands, the strengths of each pitcher and where they want to go in situations when it means the most. And that's something that, I've seen from Austin and has been really a huge, learning experience for him to grow as a major league player.